السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا بيكم في thelastpedia بودكاست. المفروض إن احنا كل يوم بنبقى موجودين من الساعة 8 للساعة 9 بتوقيت مصر، بس في الحقيقة والله الواحد انشغل جدا جدا، بس انتوا وحشتوني جدا برضو. فقلت النهاردة بقى نعمل موضوع جديد وهنتكلم على ايلتس speaking test. احنا هنشتغل مع بعض ايلتس يا جماعة في الأيام اللي جاية، فانتظروا بودكاست عن الايلتس. احد بيذاكر مش عارف يذاكر ازاي او مش عارف يعمل براكتس ازاي، احنا هنحاول مع بعض كده ان احنا نحل بعض المشاكل. وزي ما اتفقنا ان بيبقى فيه objective او objectives زي ما انتم شايفين، اهداف للفيديو او للبودكاست. يعني في نهاية البودكاست المفروض ان انت تعمل ايه او ايه اللي انت هتستفيد بيه. فهو النهاردة هيبقى practice speaking by answering an IELTS test. المفروض ان احنا نعمل practice نتدرب على السبيكينج، بس نعيش في جو الامتحان بتاع الايلتس. خلاص، ده طبعا امتحان قوي جدا، المفروض ان احنا نتكلم عنه بقى بالتفصيل ونجيب كل الكونتنت بتاعت الاكزام والاستراتيجيز ونتكلم عليه باستفاضه. بس انا حبيت ابدا كده بسبيكينج تيست، وبعد كده ان شاء الله نبقى نشوف اقتراحاتكم. لو في اي حد عنده اقتراح في الكومنتس ممكن يسيبهولي. لو حد بيذاكر وخلاص وعارف الدنيا ماشيه ازاي، خلاص يبتدي معايا ونبتدي نذاكر مع بعض. طيب هذاكر الفيديو ده ازاي او هتعامل معاه ازاي؟ اقول لكم. اول حاجه هو السبيكينج تيست بيبقى 3 بارتس، بيبقى 3 اجزاء، الجزء الاول والثاني والثالث. فانت قدامك حل من الاثنين، يا اما تقوم تعمل كوبايه قهوه وتقعد تتفرج على الفيديو كده وتمام وخلاص وتحط اللايك وسلام عليكم، يا اما هتشوف السؤال مكتوب قدامك توقف الفيديو وتحاول تجاوب عليه، وبعد كده تشوف الاجابه اللي احنا اخترناها. او ممكن تتفرج على الفيديو، تتفرج على اجابة السؤال وتبتدي تطلع السؤال بقى وتحلله وتشوف ايه الكلمات الجديدة اللي فيه وتذاكرها، او تشيل منه كلمات وتحط كلمات، او تشيل منه خبرات شخصية مثلا وتحط انت خبراتك. المهم ان انت تعمل حاجة، مش بس ان انا اقعد اتفرج على الفيديو وخلاص. فيلا بينا كده نبتدي. المفروض مدة امتحان الايلتس سبيكينج بيبقى ربع ساعة، فنحاول بقدر الامكان ان احنا نجاوب على الاسئله في ربع ساعه. زادوا شويه وقالوا شويه مش مشكله، يعني لو سمحتوا ما حدش يقف لي على الواحد. فنقول بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ونبتدي في اول سؤال. Definitely I can. My city has a diverse culinary scene. I often find restaurants serving cuisines from all over the world, like Italian, Chinese, and Mexican. It's great to have such a variety of options available. As for me, I try to eat international food at least once a week. It's a fun way to explore different cultures and expand my palate. I'm always looking for new flavors and experiences. Especially Asian food, it's delicious. On top of that, my daughters are addicted to all kinds of it. Like I mentioned, my daughters are into Chinese food. Yes, I have. I always try making a traditional Chinese dish called sushi. I'm not pretty sure if it's Japanese or Chinese. As far as I remember, I think it's Japanese. Anyway, it was a bit challenging, but I enjoyed the process and learned a lot about that cuisine. Beside that, it's ultimately satisfying when you have quality time. Interesting. Allow me to say that Egypt is not only famous for the pyramids but also for food. I would recommend trying our national dish, kushari. It's a mixing chickpeas, pasta, fried onions, and zesty tomato sauce served on top a bed of rice and browned lentils. And it's a great way to experience the flavors of our culture. It's also very popular among tourists. I guess the law that introduced mandatory recycling programs in our country was a very good idea. It aims to reduce waste and promote sustainability. First of all, this law was introduced by the government a few years ago, and it was a response to the growing problem of overflowing landfills and the need to find more environmentally friendly ways to manage waste. Before this law was implemented, many people weren't aware of the importance of recycling, and there wasn't much infrastructure in place to support it. However, the government realized that we needed to change our habits and take responsibility for our waste. They launched a public awareness campaign to educate people about the benefits of recycling and the negative impact of landfills on the environment. Furthermore, they invested in building new recycling facilities and providing clear guidelines for citizens on how to properly sort their waste. This law has had a significant impact on our country. For example, I've noticed that many people now separate their trash and recycle regularly, which makes a real difference. I've also seen a reduction in the amount of waste to go into landfills, which is a positive step towards protecting our environment. Another important aspect of this law is that it encourages people to think about their consumption habits. It makes us more conscious of the amount of waste we generate and encourages us to buy products with less packaging or to choose reusable options. This shift in mindset is crucial for creating a more sustainable future. Overall, I believe this law was a positive step in the right direction. It has not only reduced waste and promoted recycling, but also raised awareness about environmental issues and encouraged people to adopt more sustainable practices. It's a good example of how government policies can make a real difference in protecting our planet. Well, common school rules usually focus on things like respecting teachers and classmates, following dress codes, and being punctual. There are also rules about using technology and social media responsibly. For example, many schools have policies about using phones during class or accessing social media during school hours. They might also have rules about appropriate online behavior like cyberbullying or sharing personal information. I believe rules are essential in a school environment. They provide a structure and create a safe and orderly learning space for everyone. Rules help students understand boundaries and expectations, which is important for their development. For instance, if a school has a rule against bullying, it helps students understand that such behavior is unacceptable and that they have the right to report it if they experience it. In my opinion, the first step should be to understand why the child broke the rule. Was it intentional or accidental? Once the reason is clear, the school should use a combination of consequences and guidance to help the child learn from their mistakes and prevent future incidents. For example, if a student is caught cheating on a test, the school might give them a failing grade, require them to retake the test, or involve their parents in the situation. However, it's also important to provide support and guidance to help the student understand the importance of honesty and integrity. Of course, there are many reasons why people choose to study law. Some are drawn to the challenge of arguing cases and advocating for justice. Others might be interested in helping people navigate legal issues like divorce or wills, or working in government or business law. For instance, some students might be inspired by lawyers who have successfully defended clients in high-profile trials, while others might be motivated by a desire to work on policy issues that affect society as a whole. Yes, I think it can be stressful. Lawyers often work long hours, face demanding clients, and deal with complex legal issues. For instance, a lawyer might be working on a case with a tight deadline or dealing with a client who is very emotional. However, it's also a rewarding profession, knowing that you're helping people and making a difference in their lives. A prominent example is that a lawyer might help a client win a custody battle or secure a fair settlement in a personal injury case. This is the end of the speaking test. بصوا يا جماعة، هو التاست مش صعب، هو ليه بس بعض التكنيكس. فلو احنا اتعلمنا التكنيكس دي ان شاء الله ممكن نعدي ونجيب باند عالي. الموضوع محتاج شرح ومحتاج تفصيل. انا بس بقالي كتير ما قعدتش معاكم ونفسي يعني افتح لايف كده او اعمل بودكاست بقى اشرح فيها كل محاور الامتحان. ان شاء الله ربنا يسهل. بس ادعوا لي، ادعموني باللايك والشير والسبسكرايب، وعلشان نتناقش اصلا ونحلل التاست اللي احنا اختبرناه ده. الموضوع محتاج وقت، فخلينا بس مع الناس اللي بدأوا اصلا في المذاكرة وبدأوا يعملوا براكتس للسبيكينج. اهم حاجة يا جماعة ان انا ما اقفش، يعني الكونسيستنسي اهم حاجة. كل يوم اعمل براكتس، كل يوم مش هحفظ. يعني هو it's not a memorization test، يعني هو مش امتحان هبقى حافظ تمبلت كده في دماغي واروح احطها. لا، الكلام مش كده. ان شاء الله نبقى نتكلم في الموضوع ده بالتفصيل زي ما قلت لكم. ولو عايزين تمبلتس هنعمل تمبلتس، هنعمل كل حاجة. بس حاول ان انت تتدرب على الامتحان ده لغاية ما نيجي بكرة نعمل امتحان تاني ان شاء الله لو ربنا وفق. وكل يوم كده ناخد لنا امتحان ونقعد نذاكره مع بعض. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك، اشهد ان لا اله الا انت، استغفرك واتوب اليك. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.